Mookie.
Yo.
And we back.
Yes, sir.
With another reaction video. Mookie, this video was requested.
Okay.
How a failed scientist turned into the craziest defender in history.
Yeah, y'all know how it was in school, man.
It's talking about your boy, yo.
Who are that?
Nope. Pepe.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
So he was a scientist. That's actually interesting, y'all. So if y'all new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Yes, sir.
Mookie.
Yo.
Let's up a little bit. Let's get straight into it, bro.
This might sound hard to believe.
Shout out to Raymond. This one of Raymond videos.
Oh my God, Raymond. We back. Throwing Ray in the mix.
But did you know that Pepe, no, not that Pepe, this Pepe's real name is Kepler Leveron de Lima Ferreira. For some of you, it might sound a bit familiar. That's because he's actually named after Johannes Kepler, who invented the first powerful telescope and discovered 3 laws of planetary motion. And Charles Louis Alphonse Leveron, a Nobel Prize winning French physiologist who uncovered the causes of diseases like malaria. Because Pepe's parents were actually quite the scholars and loved to read. In fact, when Pepe was born, his father would say, with a name like that, my boy is going to become a scientist.
Right.
And well, perhaps in a certain way, they weren't wrong. Because Pepe would grow up to be a master at physics. On the pitch, he was almost like an immovable object, and quickly became infamous and hated by opposition fans throughout the world as one of, if not the most aggressive and unhinged defenders of all time. Despite growing up with his parents' hopes of making unity and even being named after a Nobel Prize winner, there are a lot of people out there that would rather define him as a Nobel idiot, at times looking like unfiltered chaos. And I know that many people will also say that Sergio Ramos is an equally unhinged and aggressive defender himself. But Pepe, without a doubt, would play a huge part in that as an influence. But by his reputation and look alone, you might have never guessed that Pepe was actually the kind of guy who you can consider as a mama's boy. It might be hard to believe and maybe even highly unusual, but Pepe slept in his parents' bed until he was 17. He grew up with 3 sisters and was incredibly spoiled by his mother, which I'm no psychologist, but is what many suggest attributes to the overly masculine and aggressive defensive display on the pitch. Because Pepe has always been that kind of defender ever since he started his career in Brazil. Yeah, that's right. Pepe isn't even from Portugal. As early as 8 years old, the only thing that Pepe enjoyed more than books was football. And nothing in football made him more angry than losing the ball. In his father's words, he would take the ball off of his opponent's legs without minding the damage it would cause. Outside the pitch, he was a relatively calm boy. But when he laced up his boots, it's like he became a completely different person. Because in a friendly match against Portuguese Premier League side Marítimo, the young Pepe was asked to go easy on the opposing strikers. And you guessed it, he didn't. But Marítimo would instead find interest in the aggressive defender and decided to bring him to play in Portugal. And when he arrived in the Primeira Liga, the young and unhinged defender would start to make waves. Pepe was a character that the Portuguese league was.
I can't stop to think about, y'all, the combination of him and Sergio. Like,
ridiculous.
Oh my gosh, they
the
both
same
is
pitch, really
yeah,
ridiculous.
bro. They both is like aggressive and
Yeah.
you feel me? And Pepe,
Sheesh.
boy, Pepe be on some stuff, man.
It's like having Dennis Rodman and Charles Oakley on the same team.
These dudes crazy.
Definitely not used to seeing. A defender who not only intimidated his opposition with his physical presence, but also through sheer ability. His former manager described him saying, I remember
You know who to call when you need a plumber fast. Now Len the plumber offers air conditioning help too, with same-day
games in which he was the only real center back. He was only a kid, but he was able to lead the defense all on his own. From that point, I never doubted that Pepe would go far. From what was seen as a league that played traditional defense, Pepe's presence would be a breath, or should I say tackle, of fresh air. He was something new and something special. And that's Pepe was given the immense task of filling in the defensive presence of their Champions League winning center back, Ricardo Carvalho, who alongside the club's former manager Jose Mourinho would be on their way to Chelsea. Despite Porto playing an incredibly offensive 3-4-3 formation, meaning there were really only 3 players in the back line, Pepe was incredibly solid as their main stopper.
Right.
And as unpopular as this formation was, Pepe's defensive ability was good enough to support Porto to win back-to-back Premier League titles in the 2005-06 and 2006-07 season.
Wow.
And by this time, Pepe was already seen as one of the most technically sound defenders in the world. And that's when Real Madrid and their blank checkbook came calling. For a transfer fee of 30 million euros, Los Blancos would give him a task that was perhaps even more difficult than the one given to him when he joined Porto. He had to help revive a declining defensive presence for Madrid, and was expected to fill the boots of longtime Real Madrid captain and Spanish defensive legend Fernando Hierro, who departed the club a few years ago, yet was still really the last true center back they had. Real Madrid at the time was described as a graveyard for center backs, as many of their defenders around that time were incredibly forgettable. Raul Bravo and Jonathan Woodgate weren't all that notable, and their best center back was Fabio Cannavaro, who was already undersized and was rapidly declining physically after really sacrificing his body for the 2006 World Cup. Even Roberto Carlos and Salgado, who played on the flanks, were on their last legs and already much older, with the only young defensive talent they really had Marcelo and Sergio Ramos, who was still playing as a right back at the time. Pepe even recalls what it was like to play for Madrid in his first year, saying, "We were always one-on-one at the back. I once turned to Fabio Cannavaro and said, 'Fabio, you cover.' And he told me, no, it's every man for himself here." It's almost a miracle how dysfunctional their defense was, yet Madrid still managed to end the season as champions during Pepe's first year. In fact, during his first El Clasico against Barca, Pepe did such a good job marking Ronaldinho to help Madrid win 1-0 that he would be named the
No, look like he playing, look like he killing him.
He was in his bushes. Like, bro,
man
where you
of
think
the
you
match,
going, bro?
with the press going up to him after the match and saying, "Well done, you changed your life today." And former Real Madrid player Miguel Torres would say, "It was hard for any player who came in to reach Fernando Hierro's level, but I thought Pepe was one of the best signings of that period." It didn't take him long to prove that the club had got it right. Objectively speaking, Pepe was an incredibly good defender. But since April 21, 2009, many people would mostly ignore his ability on the pitch and instead see Pepe in a much different light when he infamously kicked Getafe defender Javier Cosquero multiple times and proceeded to punch another. Sure, Pepe had his aggressive moments prior, but nothing was as high profile as that. It was almost like Pepe reached a whole nother level of aggression after.
How much money you think he paid back? Did they suspend Pepe?
They had to, bro.
Man, Pepe out there playing games.
Bro, that's
But he is vicious like that. We both knew that, Mookie.
Yeah, I mean, but come on, man.
With cleats
Yeah,
on.
with cleats
He
on.
kicking people.
Break up his back, bro. Can't even lay on his back.
This man out here kicking
that
people
man.
with cleats on, family.
Oh, that's a fight right there. I got up and we'd had to get it in, man. We gonna box it out.
After the match, he would go on to apologize for his actions, saying, "I've seen the replays and I don't even recognize myself. I
he
don't have the
blacked out.
words to describe how I feel. The biggest punishment that I could receive is what I'm feeling now." And Real Madrid would require him to do some anger management counseling, as Pepe would be hit with a 10-match ban. But that was far from the end of Pepe's infamous reputation. Of course, other high-profile incidents, especially during his time with Madrid, would only continue to garner hatred everywhere from opposition fans. The time he stepped on Messi's foot, a large portfolio of highly...
Boy, you touch Messi?
You ain't got
Boy, you touch Messi?
Pepe, you ain't got nothing to worry about.
Boy, you lucky I wasn't around there. Listen, Pepe. You feel me?
Silly.
aggressive fouls, and generally causing fear from opponents for their safety anytime he was near
Going
them,
at it was a
with
long
many other
time.
La Liga players admitting they never wanted to be near him. And throughout the years, well, his public image never really recovered. Prime buzzcut Pepe was
Damn.
truly a menace on the pitch, and despite being an absolute warrior who fought till the last second, with an unwavering work rate and world-class defensive ability, when most people look back at his career, they only see Pepe as an out-of-control and raging footballer. Because of his reputation, many seem to forget his importance to both Real Madrid winning their first few Champions League titles in the 2010s and helping
Squad,
Portugal win their only international trophy in history as the 2016 Euros final man of the match. But in Pepe's eyes, his on-pitch playstyle is nothing he should be apologizing for. As he said, when I go in for a challenge, I don't wait for my opponents. My objective is to win the ball.
Right.
If my opponent makes contact with me, that's not my problem. Throughout his 10 seasons with the
Pepe, you playing games.
Why is he playing games?
He's saying if they make contact with him, that's not his problem.
It's not.
He out there forcing contact, bro.
That's what I'm saying. If he's playing, bro. See, that's the thing you don't understand, bro. You can go in there with the perfect game plan, the cleanest mindset and attitude. Once the whistle goes off, bro, all of that's out the window. You got to go with the flow, bro.
No, he out there trying to kill people.
I don't think he's intentionally trying to hurt people, but he's playing so aggressively.
Aggressively what? Aggressively trying to kill people?
It's looking like that.
No, yo, he out there talking about if they come on. No, yo, Pepe, you out there. I understand you playing at your max level, but you out there trying to hurt people, yo.
I don't think he's intentionally trying to. They wouldn't have gave him man of the match, and he wouldn't have played around for all the years.
He should have been banned more games, bro.
He wouldn't have been around for as long as he's been around if he was intentionally trying to hurt people.
Nah, this dude crazy.
Real Madrid, Pepe would win 3 La Liga titles, 2 Copa del Reys, and 3 Champions League titles. But after his days at Real Madrid, Pepe would largely be out of the spotlight. But Sergio Ramos would definitely take the baton and continue to carry out that unhinged legacy. And despite being older and no longer playing for the world's most high-profile club, Pepe would still continue to be a quality defender. Funnily enough, he did get a little less unhinged,
Right.
but of course, at times bring out that inner menace. But the reason why he's still able to play at one of the highest levels, even up until today, is because outside the pitch, Pepe is one of the most hardworking and disciplined footballers of the game, still keeping an insanely healthy diet and exercise routine that would help him continue to play for Porto and Portugal well into the age of 40. But for these last couple of years, Pepe has kind of actually slightly turned his reputation around. The only problem is, not a lot of people actually realized it, and it just goes to highlight how his defensive ability was really overlooked and undermined just because of his past mistakes and overly aggressive moments. But yes, that definitely is due to his personal decisions. But if nothing else, in Pepe's career, especially in his prime, you either absolutely hated him or love and respected his warrior-like attitude on the pitch. I actually asked a poll to see who was the bigger menace between him and Ramos.
He should have put Pepe, Sergio, and Zlatan.
I think Zlatan was a kitten compared to Sergio and Pepe.
Y'all think so?
Zlatan was a kitten, baby. Baby cat.
And well, at the very least, a lot of people are saying that Pepe's fouls were out in the open and not hidden. Therefore, he was just aggressive.
Pepe was ruthless, but not dirty.
You see what I'm saying? Like, even when you see him play, oh, that's good defense. Oh, that's good defense.
Ramos was a master of the
dark arts.
Pepe attempted murders in broad daylight. Yo, crazy.
But not really dirty. While a lot of Sergio Ramos's most infamous moments kind of were. Now nearing 42 years old, Pepe is close to the end of his career. But he certainly will always be a player that for many, for better or for worse, will never forget.
And he played with Ronaldo.
Yeah. Man, he played for Real Madrid. Yeah. Well, I'm about to say, so let's highlight that he is about to retire, Mookie. Somebody did tell you that. But overall of this dude, Pepe, what you think, bro? Me looking at him, bro, I really think that he was on some
BS.
Dennis Rodman type tip. Okay. Like being an a-hole.
Being a pest. You can't call him an a-hole. Dennis Rodman was a pest. He irritated offenders.
But he out there.
Because he played so hard. Nah, man. You gotta. My son played the same way.
yeah.
My son played like Dennis Rodman.
Find somebody.
Go
ahead, yo.
But no, bro, you can't do that, man. Because when the guys play with aggression, you can't call it dirty. You know what I'm saying? You could just call it just hard work, and they
wind up finding themselves in bad positions, bro.
Listen, that's just because they play with so much passion.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody play with that much passion is gonna end up on the wrong end of the stick one time or another.
Nah, not one time, most of the time.
Yeah, but you respect him. You respect that he's willing to go out there and leave it all on the pitch.
So do you think overall?
Yes.
when people look at Pepe, is they looking at him as the a-hole, or they looking at him as a great defender? Or is people that...
See, you can't satisfy everybody. Some people are always going to look at him as an a-hole. But then you got the ones that's always going to look at him as a great defender.
I feel like
I look at Dennis Rodman as a great defender.
Right.
But some people look at Dennis Rodman like he was a freak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He liked when men was brushing up against him, you know, in the paint and all of that.
Yeah,
you know what
you
I'm
like
saying?
the same thing.
No, I don't. But I don't look at Dennis Rodman like that. I look at Dennis Rodman as a man who was willing to go out there and just put his body on a line for his team, for his teammates, and for the fans of the cities and the countries that he played for. You know, the country that he played for. So, and Pepe's the same way.
I can respect that, yo.
You ain't got no short.
Yo, stupid. Y'all let us know what y'all think. You feel me? Y'all think this dude was a murderer, or you think this dude was actually a good defender? If y'all new to the channel, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to Pepe, the dude about to retire soon, man. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. I'm Nick Dunson.
I'm Mookie Dunson.
And we out, baby. One.